Predictions? Okay. Chapter 5, prediction for Chapter 5. Well, I think that there's gonna be a Sans boss fight. Call me crazy. I think there's gonna be a Sans boss fight. Because, hear me out, chat, hear me out. At the end of Chapter 4, we just saw Chris is fucking livid about all the noise. Maybe, I don't know if it's just the noise, or if he has a problem with Sans. I don't know. But from interactions in Chapter 1 and 2, I think it's safe to say that Sans and Chris don't get along well. Maybe it's because he knows that we are in control of Chris, so he doesn't like us as in the player, but he's chill with Chris, but since we're possessing Chris, he's not chill with Chris. Maybe, I don't know. But I think there's going to be a Sans boss fight. Call me crazy, I think there's going to be a Sans boss fight. And so, yeah, I think there's going to be a Sans boss fight. Probably not mainline. Probably not as, like, the final boss or secret boss, but maybe as, like, a genocide route thing, maybe. Like, similar to Snowgrave, perhaps. There'll be, like, a genocide route, maybe. Maybe as a soul, it's different reactions based on if you play Undertale. No, it's not like Tears of the Kingdom, where it will sense if you've played the previous game. It does not do that. Probably, it does not do that. But, I mean, it is assumed, Deltarune assumes you've played Undertale. It assumes you've played Undertale. And, like, there's even a dialogue interaction with Sans in Chapter 1, where you can acknowledge that you two already know each other, even though he states that they've never met before, but he gives you the winky face, which is when, you know, he's talking to, like, fourth wall breaks and shit, yeah? So I think there's gonna be a Sans boss fight in Chapter 5 or 6. I'm thinking Chapter 5, given the ending of Chapter 4, with, Chris being pissed at Sans. Or the noise. I'm assuming Sans. Oh yeah, and also, it's pretty obvious that Sans and Toriel, I love to be a fourth, I love to be fall fork break when you get home and he becomes a pseudo dad. Yeah, I was literally about to get to that point. So, we know Chris loves Asgore. Asgore is Chris's dad, as we all know, yeah? And so, and due to dialogue, again in Chapter 1, you can ask Toriel if her and Asgore are getting back together, in which case she says no. She says no, they're not getting back together. So Chris already has some resentment towards Sans because of that, yeah? He already has resentment towards Sans because of that. That already lays groundwork with Chris not liking Sans, yeah? And so, maybe as like a Snowgrave continuation, like if you have a Snowgrave route save file in Chapter 5 or 6, you can fight Sans. Maybe either a Light World or Dark World counterpart. What was I yapping about? Oh yeah, Sans. And maybe something like that, maybe. Other predictions. I'm very curious about what the last thing of the Prophecy 7. I need to know. Oh, man, I need to know. Because, okay, so it clearly bothered Susie. It bothered Susie so much that she fucking punched it with her hand so hard she started to bleed. That's how much it bothered her. So, if it bothered Susie that much, it's not good. It's obviously not good. That Santori will be something like a key together? Maybe. But, then when merged in the Dark World... What? We merged. There's not fusion. This isn't Fiber Thor. There's no fusion, Stinky. But, like... Mayhaps. The Knight. Who the fuck is the Knight? 'Cause... we know the Knight has to be a Lightner. At least... I think he is. I mean, I think he has to be, because he can exist in the light world, yeah? He can exist in the light world. Unless, like, he is so dark that he can exist in the light world while staying in his dark form. Maybe. But that doesn't mean that he has to be something else entirely. Like, not Lightner or Darkner. a grainer, a fucking grainer, man, a freaking grainer, or Voidner. Ooh, a Voidner. So, he does appear to be made of void. Chris's original soul. Oh, you're thinking the knight is Chris's original soul? Maybe. Maybe. That's not a bad theory, Jack. That's not a bad theory. That's not a bad theory. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. That's a good theory. I like that theory. That's a good theory. That's a good theory. But that then brings up another question. What happened to Chris's soul? Like, is the knight just Chris's soul before we possessed Chris? Like, no, because they seem to be able to exist, to, like, function on their own without us. Like, they can tear us out of their body, and they're fine. Sure. Wait a minute! Maybe Chris is building... Wait, Jack, hear me out. Jack and chat. What? Okay, I think Chris is building up resistance to us. Because, if you remember, in Chapter 1 and 2, when Chris forcefully pulls us out of his body, he, like, stumbles and can barely walk. As of Chapter 3 and 4, he's fine. He can function fine. If you remember... Actually, I don't think that... Actually, no. I don't remember any soul-removing things in Chapter 3. But in Chapter 4, he is fine. He tears us out in Noelle's house. We wander around. He's fucking fine. He makes a fucking conversation on the phone. He whacks us with a hockey stick in December's closet. He is fine. So maybe... either that the knight is growing stronger as Chris is growing resistant to our control over him... Or like, our determination is bleeding into Chris's being. Yeah, the knight's presence has become bigger. Yeah. As Chris has become more resistant to our control, the knight has has played a bigger role and gotten stronger. So, yeah. That's what I'm saying, like, maybe. And... oh, what else do I have to yap about? And... What else? I had a thought and it literally just went right out my brain. God damn it. Yeah, so... like, okay, yeah, bleeding. What if, like, our determination is, like, bleeding? Or, like, washing into Chris's being? Because, as we know, according to Undertale, which shares very similar rules with Deltarune, the only thing you need to exist is determination. That's the only thing you need to exist. Because Flowey has no soul. We know that. What if someone's body got Chris's decomposed soul, and now, maybe, that's a good theory. And now it's the knight? That's a good theory. Like, any theory here is good. But, like, according to Undertale, the only thing you need to exist is determination. And humans have more determination than monsters. So, even without Chris, even if Chris tears his soul out, tears us out of him, he has no soul. He still has determination, because he is human. And so, maybe... wait a minute! Chat. As with every chapter in the Dark World, your love increases. Our love increases. In Chapter 1, we're only love 1. In Chapter 2, we're love 2. And, as Undertale states, the more your love increases, the further you can distance yourself. The further you distance yourself, the less you will hurt. Oh my god! Hold on. And so, as Chris has been getting stronger, he's been able to distance himself from his soul, otherwise known as us, the player, and he will hurt less. Oh my god! I think I just made the freaking map pat realization of map pat realizations right there. Oh my god. That will make so much sense, though. That also makes so much sense, though. Because, yeah, the more you can hurt, the more you distance yourself. The more you distance yourself, the less you will hurt. And our love has been increasing with each chapter. Oh my god. But it's only been increasing in the Dark World, though. Oh, wait, it's only been increasing in the Dark World, though. Because, with when we check our stats in the light world, we're always love 1. Always love 1. In the dark world, though, our love has been increasing with each chapter. Oh, that kind of does put a stop on my theory, doesn't it? Do you think think Chris has every player's opinions? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Maybe. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. But, yeah, I think all the people who put the same as Susie in Chapter 3, or the Snowgrave route, Snowgrave route in Chapter 2, or all the pacifists. Yeah, that was your theory earlier with that. Yeah, I remember your theory from earlier about the Roaring Knight. Yeah. Does every option weigh on him? I would think so, because depending... Okay, so in Chapter 2, after you beat Spamton Neo, the secret boss of that chapter, when you exit the area, there's, Rousey asks Chris if he's okay. Your two options are yes or no. If you select no, it's implied that Chris screamed the answer no. If you select yes, it's implied that Chris very shakily said yes. Like, he didn't want to say yes. So I think that options do weigh on him. Yes, I believe options do weigh on him. But, his love has been increasing, so he's been able to distance himself from us and build resistance. So, maybe by, like, chapter 6 or 7, he'll be able to have full independence of us. He'll just have full independence. And I know there's been, ever since the game came out, like, chapter 1 came out, there's been speculation about the vessel you make before the game will be a boss further in the game. I think that might be true. Because if Chris builds resistance to us and just claims his independence, we cannot, because remember, we cannot enter Chris. From what we've seen, we cannot exit or enter Chris ourselves. He, after all, the prophecy says he is the cage containing us. So, only he can imprison or take us out of the cage. So, Jack, let me cook. Jack, stop. Let me cook. Let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought here. And so, so maybe, like, as his independence grows, he'll be able to just discard us and just be fine. Because he'll have enough determination. And your determination increases, as your love increases, your determination increases. That's also, I forgot to mention that, but yeah. So his determination increases, which means he can last longer without us being inside of him. Because Soul Soul is the body we made at the start. The Knight is the body we made. Ooh. Ooh, maybe, possibly. But, and so, the vessel, I have a feeling that the vessel could be a boss. But not in the way that we fight the vessel, but we fight Chris, Susie, and Rousey as the vessel. Because the vessel is implied to be soulless, therefore we could easily enter it. It has no will, it has no mind, it has nothing. It is a blank slate, it is a shell. Yeah? We as the player, could easily enter that. You know, we could probably easily enter that and take control of it. 'Cause, you know, yeah, we could probably do that. But then, this raises another question. Is there a Kara to the story? Is there a Kara to this story? Because, in the Genocide Route of Undertale, once you kill everything, your love reaches the max value it can be, you encounter Kara, who states that every number increase, that feeling is her. That she is that feeling when a value increases. So she is love, attack, defense, magic, spirit, not spirit, but etc, yeah, etc. And so is there a Kara to this story? That's what, is there a Kara to this story? Would Azrael be Kara? Is Chris Kara? Is the vessel Kara? Is Gaster Kara? Like, who is Kara in this situation? And then that then begs another question. Where is Kara in this situation? Because every character in Undertale is then represented by themselves again in Deltarune. Jack, I will call you in a minute. I'm finishing this thought here. And except for Kara, and of course Flowey, but that's because Azrael is present. And of course there's new characters, of course, but those are new characters, yeah? So where is Kara? Is Kara Chris? What happened to Kara? Let me join Call Jack and we can yap with him, yeah? Okay, go. Yap to me. What you got?
Uh, I was just gonna say that personally,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a possibility that all this, like, okay, we gotta think, what is going to be the chapter 8? What is going to be the end?
The chapter 7's the end.
Well, no, because he said halfway through.
Okay. So, Jack. Hold on.
Oh my god, I might
Bro,
understand it. Fire,
Toby literally said there's 7 chapters. Toby literally said there's 7 chapters.
fire,
Toby literally
listen
said
to
it.
me.
I'm listening to you.
What if Undertale is chapter 8?
No.
No, here.
No,
Chapter
no,
7.
because Azrael already exists.
No.
You know I'm
What
right.
if at the end of it, it shows like the original, or it's what's supposed to be the original timeline, or it's supposed to be like a different.
Okay, but our
Because of
theory...
Gaster.
Yeah, our theory is that Gaster made Deltarune, though.
Well, yeah, but if Gaster made Deltarune, is Deltarune the like original timeline, or is
No. Maybe, actually.
Undertale
Wait a minute. No, because
is
it'd be...
Undertale the original?
I think Undertale's the original, because if Gaster were to make an alternate reality, he of course would make it with a different story line. He wouldn't just do the exact same thing. It's not... Deltarune's not a time machine. Deltarune is not a time machine. It's an alternate reality.
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying what if Chris gets transported into an alternate reality
And
at the end of the
Kara?
game, which leads into
Ooh.
yeah,
Maybe.
all of that hate from fighting us off, yeah, has made him into the thing that we are.
But Kara isn't
inherently
Kara isn't inherently evil, though.
Well, yeah, but is Chris?
We don't know.
Well, that's my point. Chris isn't seen to be evil unless you're evil to the player, which is exactly how Kara is in Undertale.
But, okay, if
you are a good person during the game, Kara doesn't do anything. But if you do something bad and you kill everyone, Kara takes control and goes,
appears.
I'm doing...
That's true, that's true. But that would then mean that Chris would have to be Kara, which would then mean that... Oh, hold on. Let me rack my brain around this. That would then mean that Chris would have to shrink in height, grow rosy cheeks, cut his hair, and just have everyone forget who he is and go by the name of Kara. That's too many steps, I think. That's too many steps.
Excuse me. In Undertale, yeah, when the game resets, yeah, from... I can't remember how it resets. Can't remember exactly.
And what depends on what route are you talking?
Well, yeah, but the game resets, doesn't it?
In
yeah.
What route? And yeah.
If Gaster is able to reset the timeline, yeah, he's able to reset memories. Sans says, "I won't remember you, man," but he's the only one.
Well, if the theory,
I'm just saying,
if the theory that Sans and Papyrus are two halves of Gaster, which that would then imply how Sans is aware of what we are because he's aware of Undertale.
Well, wouldn't that make more sense then? Because think about it: if Undertale comes after Deltarune,
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Well, no, because think about it. Yeah, Gaster. Yeah, this world seems like a lot more of a world that's filled with more evil. Yeah, but yeah, there's only a couple of evil entities because they're trying to get out
of the Deltarune into
Gaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's that? Where have we seen Papyrus in this world?
Not yet.
Not yet. There is no half of Gaster. It's only one half that's exposed in Deltarune. And Gaster could have been like, maybe we have to get my other half in here, or else everything's going to go exactly how Deltarune is. So when he splits himself in half,
well, he didn't,
and gives...
We don't know if we don't know for sure if Sans and Papyrus are two halves of Gaster, his kids, his brothers. We have no idea. We don't know. All three are good. All three are viable options.
Well, I'm just saying, it's possible that maybe the whole entire timeline, yeah, is supposed to be... Because I just think it's weird that why would at the end of the game, yeah, a lot of the time we've been saying, like, Gaster is that voice at the end, yeah? Why would Gaster say we're halfway through when it's chapter 4? I would have thought midway through chapter 3, you would have put, we're halfway through, guys.
Well, because it's not going to interrupt. It's not going to interrupt your gameplay to be like, hey, you're halfway there, by the way. So actually, you know what? That's a
Well,
okay,
yeah,
but that does make way for a possible Chapter 8. I'll give you that. It does make way for a possible Chapter 8. Possible.
that's why I'm thinking Undertale comes after Deltarune, because think about it.
That doesn't. There's no way though. That doesn't make any sense.
How is it? How is it
Because
not?
Asriel is already an adult.
Well, yeah, but think about it. Alternate timelines. I'm not saying that it takes place afterwards. I'm saying it takes place afterwards in Gaster's brain.
Oh, I thought you were saying that Deltarune is like a prequel to Undertale. That's my bad. That's my bad.
No.
I thought that's what you were saying. I thought that's what you were saying.
I'm saying all these like hints to Sans, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Sans knows that this isn't supposed to be the real
Sans
timeline.
100% He's 100% knows. There's no way he doesn't know. There's no way he does not know.
He knows this isn't the timeline that's gonna stick. He knows that this isn't the reality.
Wait, Jack, what if Sans is trying to get to Toriel so he can get to us, the player?
Yeah, that's my point.
Oh, that's spooky, man. That's spooky. That's spooky.
Maybe he's trying to change the path of Undertale. Well, because, okay, all these winks and stuff, he definitely knows. He can definitely tell that we've got, like, a soul.
Yeah. He knows. He knows of our existence, of us as a player.
If he is Gaster, he would know that we have the soul, and that's how he knows, not because of Undertale. And then think about it. He's getting close to Toriel, because first of all, we've seen that Toriel and Sans would have been good friends anyways.
Yeah, and it's also implied that they did start dating after Undertale. That is implied.
Yeah. The extra little bit of information that, oh yeah, I could get close to the player. Maybe the reason why he gets with Toriel in Undertale is because...
but he has no...
Well, no, because...
Okay. Maybe.
What if he focuses...
Okay, hold on. What if Toby is just doing that to throw us off? Just like just putting the appearance of Sans and Toriel being good friends because he already knows the fan base loves that shit, and so he's just doing that to throw us off the scent that we're already on right now, of him trying to get to us.
Well, he is trying to get to us. What my point is that maybe he realized in this universe that he can't, like, if he gets too close to the player, everything goes. And then that's why in Undertale he takes a more backseat the entire game until he has to step in. Because why is he being so involved?
I don't know.
Why is he so involved so early on? Because think about it. It's only chapter 4, and he's here already, and he's like sitting here.
Yeah, he literally just fucking assorted himself. You heard my reaction. You saw my reaction to me, like, saying, what the fuck are you doing here?
He like what I'm saying, himself, what if he went too fast in this reality, and then obviously in Undertale, he takes a more backseat because he knows that he's not going to do anything new. And I personally think that Undertale might be the, like, alternate reality in Gaster. And then also, if Toby ever makes any other games, they could be, like, other realities of...
Well, the thing is that Gaster... We know for a fact Gaster was the previous Rorosantis before Alphys. He created the core, and he most likely was researching determination. Even though it says Alphys was, that's probably not true. It's probably Gaster. So, in Gaster, researching determination and souls would be was trying to look for a way to break the barrier. He realizes, I can't really seem to find out a way to do this. What if I make an alternate reality? Deltarune.
Well, why do you think Undertale becomes before Deltarune?
I'm saying they're not related. The only relation to each other is that they share characters. That's the only relation. They share similar mechanics, rules, and characters, but that's not it. There's alternate realities. They're two halves of the same coin.
Don't you think that it's a bit weird that if this is an alternate reality, or if this is any sort of thing, why is it only some characters from Undertale are a part of the Deltarune, but why isn't there any characters from the Deltarune into the Undertale? Because
Deltarune came after Undertale. I'll give you the commercial standpoint.
Look, from this standpoint, yes, but my point is,
I don't know.
It should be the same way.
Okay, hold on. Back to the thing about Susie being pissed about the prophecy. What if the prophecy says that Noelle has to die?
What if that she has to die?
I don't know. I don't know if Susie has to die. Maybe, possibly. But
Oh my god.
what if Noelle has to die?
Oh my god, Toriel.
What about Toriel?
Toriel has to die.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, Susie has to kill Toriel?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
And that's why she's so chilly when Toriel goes, okay, thank you, you know.
Oh, that's a great theory. Oh, that's great. That's actually genius. Oh, like maybe.
And that's why when he left the house, he went, I'm gonna have to do it, aren't I?
I can't let that happen.
To those,
yeah. I can't let that happen. Oh my god, Jack, I think you might be right. I think you might be onto something. Maybe Susie
he doesn't want to kill Toriel,
well, of course
Toriel was the only way to save it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've had my cuppa. Tea.
So many questions, so little answers, man.
I just think it makes no sense. Why? You know. Why would Toby, like, I think everyone always assumes because of some things that they say. You know, like inside of the game, like sometimes they'll say, oh yeah. What's it called? It'll be, yeah, this style, you know, like Undertale is obviously, because of the Sans line that goes like, hey, wink.
Yeah, even though, like, nice to meet you too, nice to see you again, even though we've never met before. Yeah, continue.
Well, think about it. What Sans can reset, so he may be reliving this Deltarune loop.
Sans cannot reset. He does not have enough determination.
Well, yeah, but what if at the end of Deltarune it resets?
Maybe. Well, I think I'm still confident in my theory of the general theory that Deltarune is an experiment by Gaster that's going to go wrong. Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Wait, Jack. You know the line from the Gaster followers about how Gaster was said to have fallen into his creation?
Yep.
He's not gonna be like, he's not gonna say, oh my gosh, you're right. He's just gonna be like, yeah, what about it?
I don't get it.
No, they say that Gaster fell into his own creation. So if Gaster falls into Deltarune, that would explain why he's not present in Undertale unless there are very specific conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you not shocked about this?
I don't know.
Okay. Like we were really confident, like, oh my gosh, you might be right. And I was like, wait, what if Deltarune is the creation you guys fell into? And you're like, yeah, and?
Well, yeah, if Deltarune is the creation that Gaster, like...
fell into.
Yeah. I just feel like... Are we sure? Okay, so are we going under the fact of Undertale is coming after Deltarune in this theory, or like...
No, I don't think. There's no way.
Why?
It doesn't make any sense for that to be the case. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
how
sure, it doesn't make any sense, because, first of all, everyone's memories has to...
it. You gotta explain it. You can't just say, it can't be.
You know, it literally just doesn't make sense, though, because the entire thing of Lightners and Darkners has to be thrown out the window, bringing in with humans and monsters, instead of Lightners and Darkners, just throw that concept out the window. The Roaring, Dark World, the Light World, just throw that all out the window. That doesn't matter anymore. That never happened. Chris doesn't exist. Noelle doesn't exist. Bradley doesn't exist. All these other new characters don't exist. Rouse, I don't know, what do you mean say Asriel? That's, who's the fuck is Rouse? Asriel, he's a kid, actually. Toriel and Asriel, they were together for much longer, actually. Sans and Toriel don't know each other until the very end. Yeah. I could keep going.
Well, no, but...
I could keep going.
Also...
Oh, yeah, wait, Jack. Undertale, literally, the story of Undertale is that seven human wizards sealed monsters underground with a magic spell. Humans cannot use magic as of Undertale. Or in Deltarune. There you go.
Did the chat do that? Did the chat say that?
No, I literally just realized that.
Well, yeah, but we've literally just been messing with the idea of it being an alternate reality, not...
Yeah, and I was just saying all this to disprove your theory about them being connected and more than just being alternate realities.
Well, no, 'cause if they're alternate realities, which one comes first? Because Sans must remember something if he's in a different universe.
There is no what comes first, what comes second. There is no concept of that, Jack. They're beyond time and space. Time does not relate. Time is not linked in those two stories. They're not linked, Jack.
Do you think that Sans knows every single option that's going on?
No, he's not Garnet.
No, I don't mean future vision. I mean, like, he knows everything that's going on, every single breeze of the wind, every single, like, everything. Because if he's, like, a part of Gaster, does he know everything that's going on? And that's why he tries to cool down he tries to cool down Chris at the end, because he knows that he's been on a perilous journey.
Maybe. So then that would then mean that Sans... But that would then imply that Sans doesn't know about the player's existence and is only there to comfort Chris. Which, I think it's pretty confident to say that Sans knows that about us. I think it's safe to say he knows about us.
Well, yeah, but what's the proof?
He literally says, "Nice to meet you too, even though we've never met before." Wink. The first fucking chapter. That is
literally something Sans would do, even if he didn't he wasn't.
Okay, but Sans only...
Like, even if he didn't know, he could jokingly be like, "Oh, I've never met you before," wink. He sends you to a call thing
for idiot
in
babies,
chapter 1, doesn't he?
For idiot babies, yeah. Hotline for idiot babies.
Yeah. So why wouldn't him winking, could just be like a bit of playfulness to be like, "Oh, even though I haven't met you, wink."
Because he only winks when he either does a pun or he does something that breaks the fourth wall. That's the only time he winks.
Well, yeah, but how do we know that? Because it's Deltarune. It's not Undertale.
Good argument. Anyway,
I think we ran out of theories.
I'm not, Jack. I could be going. I could go all night. I could go all night. That's what she said.
I don't want to go all night.
That's what she said. That is what she said. But I could keep going all night. Like, that is what she said. But what else do I have? Do I have anything else? Is Alphys gonna ask about what happened to Undyne? Maybe it's just the entire time be like, "Hey, what happened to Undyne?" I like the theory of that Susie has to kill Toriel, or Toriel somehow has to die, or Susie has to kill Noelle. Susie has to do something bad, and she doesn't like it.
In my personal opinion, it's Toriel, because I think Noelle might play a bigger role. Instead of her being, like, someone who's going to die, she might be someone that needs to go into the light world. The dark world, sorry.
Noelle's already been to the dark world in chapter 2. And she's implied to be very, very powerful. Like, really fucking powerful. She literally one-shot... In Snowgrave, she one-shots Spam to Neo. She one-shots him in Snowgrave.
Oh my god, what if... Yeah? Noelle and Susie are the key to killing the, like, final...
But then why would Susie be upset about that, though?
Well, because the final boss could be Toriel.
Or Chris. Or us as the player.
Well, no, because think about it. It could be Toriel and the unmades, the soul that we made at the start.
Oh, the vessel, yeah. Maybe.
The vessel and Toriel.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe Asriel comes back at the end.
We know that Asriel comes back in chapter 7. That is confirmed. And the way...
Well, but what if he comes back because Toriel's missing?
But, I know that, we know that Asriel 100% comes back chapter 7. If there is a chapter 8... cool, he still comes back in chapter 7. We know that as a fact. Unless, like, his plane gets delayed by fucking weather, in which case, yeah, chapter 8, here we go. But,
actually, that's chapter 8.
But I'm not saying there isn't. I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm saying it's a possibility that there's a chapter 8. I'm saying it's a possibility. But we know that Azrael... Okay, Azrael is supposed to come back in chapter 7. Maybe his flight gets delayed or some shit. I don't know. That sounds like something Tully would do, I'll be honest. But, yeah. Mm-mm. But I think that
I just personally think that...
Go ahead.
I just personally think that it could be.
I don't know. Maybe,
it could be Toriel, the final boss.
I still think Gaster's the final boss. I still think Gaster's the final boss.
No, because think about it. Why would Toby give us that? Let's be honest here. As much as he likes fan service, he knows that if he gives Gaster, then it'll be wrong to his character. Gaster's always been someone who's on the sidelines, and he's barely shown himself in this. In Deltarune. So unless, yeah, the knight is one of Gaster's subjects, or the vessel is one of the glitches.
Maybe.
You know, like how in, one of the condition ones.
The fun value, yeah.
And the condition was that we started the game. Like, if we start the game and create a vessel.
Maybe.
He takes the vessel as one of his subjects. But, like, I just feel like that's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know... Okay, well, we have, like, at least, like, 6 or 8 months of just theorizing before we get any more answers, man. Or I should actually say before we get any more questions. Damn you, Toby. Damn you. But, yeah.
Well, at least you only have to wait, like, a year until next chapter.
Yeah, no, that... I'm still shocked. I don't believe that. There's no way. There's actually no way Chapter 5 comes out next year. There's no way. Because that would then imply that Chapter 6 also comes out next year. I don't know, man. I don't believe it. Personally, I don't think... Look, buddy, I like what you're saying. Personally, I don't think it's realistic. And for that reason, I'm out.
You know what might be cool?
What?
If it goes Chapter 5, and then a 6-month break, Chapter 6.
I could see that happening. And then after Chapter 6, it's like another year until Chapter 7. I could see that happening.
Yeah. Well, because I'm thinking, if it aligns with summer again... It could be Chapter 5 releases in... What's it called? So Chapter 5 releases in midsummer.
Chapter 6 would then come out Christmas.
Well, no. So, next year. Chapter 5 comes out around Christmas time, maybe Halloween. Could come with a good Halloween, like, esque theme.
Maybe. Chapter 6.
And then Chapter 6 comes out spring or summer.
Of 27.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, think about it. It'll be 2, and then it would be the same.
Okay, well, the fact that Toby gave us a confirmed date for Chapter 5 being next year, that then means that Chapter 5 is done, if not very close to being done, which would then mean that Chapter 6... is almost done. Because Chapter 3 had been done for a while. Toby just had to finish Chapter 4. Then when he finished that, then he released Chapter 3 and 4 alongside each other. So I think that Chapter 5 and 6 are going to come out alongside each other as well, and Chapter 7 is going to be the big finale, or it'll be like 7 and 8 or something. I don't know. But I think that makes sense. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me, at least. But I feel like if Toby was to do, like a grand finale, he would release one chapter, and that one chapter would be Chapter 7. That's my theory, at least. That's my guess. I mean, at the very least, that's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. At the very least. But yeah. So, Chapter 5 has to be done, if not almost done. Chapter 6 has to be, at the very least, halfway done. It has to be.
I personally think Chapter 5 might not actually be fully done yet.
Well, yeah.
I think some things still need to be polished.
Yeah, no, I think some things still need to be
polished. And then also it needs to be bug tested.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm not saying chapter 5 is ready to go out into the public right now. I'm saying, it's very close. It's very close. Like
I don't
that
think
can be like their side project
it's
while they
that
work on the rest of
close.
chapter 6 for the next year. So go ahead.
I don't think it's that ready. I personally think it might come out like in winter because if each chapter is going to be like 40 minutes.
Oh,
No, it was
bro,
3 hours
yeah, it's
each
like
chapter.
4 fucking hours. It's like 4 fucking hours. 5 if
Well,
you
I'm
include
saying
the secret
four
boss.
hours. But 4 hours, yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
Deltarune.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that it's going to take them about, I don't know. I personally think it either comes out next summer, similar time as it is now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or it comes out on Christmas or Halloween.
I can see it coming out holiday 2025. I can see that happening.
2025? Wow! Oh my god!
I meant 26. I meant 26. That's my bad. I keep thinking my brain does not just to be 2025. My brain is still not accepted that. It's 2024. I'm telling you. It's 2024. I'm telling you. Actually, no, sorry. It's 2023. I'm telling you. It's 2023. I'm telling you. It's 2023. And after Chapter 2 came out, okay, hold on, think. So, Chapter 1 came out in 2018. 3 years later, you got Chapter 2. 4 years later, you got 3 and 4. And I assume Toby was sitting on 3 and 4 for a while, doing some finishing touches while working on Chapter 5. And so, by the time 3 and 4 released on Steam, Chapter 5 was almost done. And by now, it's also still almost done. It only came out like 3 weeks ago. It's still only in the phase of almost done. Needs some polishing, some bug fixes, etc. But then this means that Chapter 6, there's a decent amount of Chapter 6 already done. That then would have to mean that.
Mm.
So yeah.
I'm just saying, I can't believe we've been chatting for almost 30 minutes about.
Yeah, bro, this is gonna be an entire fucking separate VOD of just us rambling our theories about Deltarune, man. But anyway, expect next stream to actually I don't know what we're doing next. I can continue Pokemon Y Catchless next stream actually, but still keep an eye out for the secret bosses of Chapter 3 and 4. I'll work on that when I can. But yeah, other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Jack, you want to say anything? Well said, well said. But
subscribe to Jackstar9
you
because
should.
I've been
You should
here
do that.
all stream, y'all.
He should do.
But
That.
I do have to say this right now. The only reason why, I personally think if you want more frequent streams and also more like under Deltarune related stuff, check out Fireman.
Yeah!
I know I would really recommend him. I'm planning soon to play
Chapter 2.
Deltarune Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to play Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 until I almost forget everything about this stream.
Yeah, I would also say that.
Mainly because I remember seeing stuff about Undertale like before playing Undertale.
Yeah.
But obviously,
He forgot a lot of it.
in my yeah, I forgot a lot of it. Some of it I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Or, oh, I remember this song. But yeah, I'll probably not play Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4, probably till Deltarune Chapter
5 and 6 come
5
out.
comes out.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that, I'll be honest. I would not be surprised. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully see you all next week. Bye-bye!
Goodbye!